Super Castlevania IV. I got this game when I picked up my Super Famicom. This game came with it. And I didn't really care. I was just, whatever, this is the game that I'm getting with it. Actually, I didn't even know what it was when I got it. Because, of course, this is the Japanese version. And I certainly couldn't read that. The artwork and the fact it was Konami kind of hinted to me that it might be Castlevania. And this, of course, is Super Castlevania IV. But anyways, like I said, I never was a big fan of the Castlevania games. I never really played them. And so I got this, and it just kind of sat around. And, the other day I thought I would try it out. And you know what? I'm glad I did. Because this is an awesome game. So let's take a look at it. So here's the Konami logo. Game loading up, of course. Now this game came out in 1991, October 1991 in Japan, December 1991 in North America. Of course, I'm actually playing this on my Super Famicom, so this is the Japanese version, as we can see here in the title screen. Don't ask me what that says, but I can tell you that there are some differences between this Japanese version and the American version. For example, here we see a lot of crosses, and most of the crosses are taken out of the American version as to not piss off any religious type groups. Also, a lot of the blood, a lot of the dripping blood and stuff like that was taken out. So I'm playing the Japanese version. For the most part, it doesn't really matter. Except for, well, right here we can see the storyline. You can see that's Japanese, so I can't tell you what that says. The rest of the game, the options and the menus and, all the information while you're playing is in English, so that doesn't really matter so much. This game is, obviously it's an early Super Nintendo game. Like I said, it came out in October 1991 in Japan, and shortly after, December 1991 in North America. Oddly enough, didn't come out to Europe until November 1992. So a full year before it came out in Europe. I guess that's pretty typical, but anyways, this game has pretty good music, I think. Considering it's an early Super Nintendo game. I think the music's pretty good. The graphics are pretty good. I'm not saying they're the best that the Super Nintendo has to offer, but once again, this is an early Super Nintendo game, and considering that it's an early Super Nintendo game, they're pretty good. There are some levels that take advantage of the Mode 7 of the Super Nintendo, some of the rotation and scaling stuff. But for the most part, it's just, traditional side-scrolling. This is the fourth game. This is actually called Super Castlevania IV. That's its official American name. This one, I have no idea what it says, as it's in Japanese. It translates to, and I'm probably not going to say this right, Akumejo Dracula. Whatever Akumejo is. I don't know if that's the guy's name, or that's Dracula's name. No clue. But that's what that says in the Kenji or whatever, that Japanese writing on this version. It doesn't have the number 4 in it. But this is the fourth Castlevania game. At least I'm assuming. Like I said, I've never played Castlevania before. Never played a Castlevania game before. I never played these on the NES. So I'm guessing the first 2 or 3 were on the NES. Once again, I don't know. I never played them. And because I never played them, I guess I just missed them. None of my friends, I guess, had the Castlevania games on the NES, and I just never saw them when I was a kid. So, like I said, when I got this, I was like, Castlevania, I didn't think it would really be a game I would get into, and you know, it didn't take long. Just playing through the first level, I realized that this was a pretty good game. Here's the first boss. Get into the game here. Here's the first boss. You can throw items. You pick up items during the game. Now, in this game, you start off and your character has no armor on him, and he has just like a rope whip that it doesn't have a very long range. But you pick up power-ups through this game, and they're in the candles. There's candles throughout the game, and you hit those with your weapon, and you'll get, you know, either you know, extra throwing items, or you'll get, you know, extra life, or you'll get a power-up, and your guy will get armor, and he'll get you know, his rope whip will turn into a chain whip, and you get more power-ups. It makes, you know, your chain longer and stronger, and you get like I said, you get different throwing items. And now I've got the knives, and the controls are pretty simple, and that's one thing I like, is they didn't go too complicated with the controls. I mean, you basically just have a jump button and an attack button, and then you have R on the trigger to throw your special items. So on the screen you'll see the score at the top left, and below that is your life. And of course you can fill that up with power-ups like food. The enemy's life is the upcoming boss. I'm not sure why that's always on the screen, but I've seen that before, and I like the zombies here. I had to show this part just because of the zombies. But anyways, and then in the center of the top is the item that you're currently, the throwing item, the special item, I should say. The special item that you currently have. In this case it's the axe, could be the knives, whatever the case may be. And in the top right it shows the level you're on. And below that there's a heart, and that's actually the number of special items you have. You pick up the hearts throughout the game. You know, most of the candles are hearts. You know, if they're not, you know, life or a special item or a power-up, they'll be the hearts. And the hearts are basically your special items. So in this case, I could throw 41 axes. And beside that is your men, your lives, and then the time. You can hold down the attack button, and you can swing your weapon around. That doesn't work very good because it's very weak. It might only take one hit if you do a direct attack. Or if you hold it down and swing it around, it might take 2 or 3, but if there's stuff all around you, it could certainly come in handy. I saw a second boss there is Medusa, which is just like a mini-boss. You don't really beat the level when you beat Medusa there. You just keep going. You can also download this game on the Wii Virtual Console. It came out December 2006. You can download that for the Wii Virtual Console. I like these guys here, these like Sandman guys. Every time you hit them, they just turn. Okay, now listen to the music here, guys. See how long it takes me to finally realize you can't kill that thing? So I just had to turn the music up there. I think the music in that level is really cool. Even though it's really simple, I think it sounds very nice. And of course I'm running out of time, so I guess I'm going to have to wrap it up. But that's Super Castlevania IV.